previously on my channel, I guess.
And then the last kind of video that I'm thinking about making is around fitness. I am by no means an expert or fit at all, but I am currently on a fitness journey, so I would quite like to document that.
Yeah, about that. So that fitness journey turned out to be more of a stroll. I kind of did a lap around the block, came home and gained 15 pounds. But I don't think I'm the only one that's fallen victim to the quarantine 15. At the start of the year, I knew that I needed to do something about my weight. I have struggled with my weight my entire life, which I will make a different video on one day. For the last few weeks, I've been following a program called Second Nature, and I wanted to document that here, share my results with you and how I've been getting on with it. Today, I'm going to be talking about my first 6 weeks. So what is Second Nature? For those who don't know, Second Nature is a 12-week health program endorsed by the NHS, which focuses on weight loss. It gives a holistic view on losing weight, so rather than just giving you a diet to follow, it looks at improving nutrition, exercise, sleep and mental health. It's not a free programme, so it costs about £40 a month for 3 months. It's not the cheapest, but all the comments and reviews I looked at said it was worth every penny. At the start of the programme, you're sent a recipe book and a handbook, but the bulk of the programme is used through their app. When you join the programme, you are put into a group of people who are on the same journey as you, and you can interact with them through the chat function on the app. Each group is assigned a coach who is a registered dietitian or nutritionist, and an article is released each day on various topics to either give you education or tips on losing weight. You discuss those articles in your group and you can ask any questions that you have to your coach, or if you've got any issues, and they're there to support you throughout the whole of the programme. Each week of the 12 weeks focuses on a different topic. So week 1 is reset, week 2 is nutrition, week 3 is mindset, week 4 is exercise, week 5 is sleep, and lastly we have week 6, which was stress. Like I said, I'm only talking about my first 6 weeks on the programme. So the way that Second Nature works is that each week you are given a new habit to practice and learn and try and embed into your life. Their aim is to equip you with the tools and good habits that you need to continue to use for the rest of your life. It's meant to be a lifestyle change rather than just a fad diet that you do for a certain amount of time and then you've got to kind of fend for yourself and figure out how to live a healthy lifestyle for the rest of your life. The habits you develop during the programme are intended to help get you to your body's natural weight, and then you can maintain it from there using those habits you've developed. So the main reasons that I wanted to try Second Nature as opposed to any other diets that are out there, the first main reason was because you are given access to a registered dietitian or nutritionist. I don't know about you, but for me, I have found weight loss so confusing, hearing different things of you shouldn't eat carbs and you shouldn't eat fat and you shouldn't eat anything other than vegetables, being in a calorie deficit and just all of those kind of buzzwords that you hear. I found it really confusing and not knowing which diet I should follow, who should I take the advice from. So I would much rather take my advice from a registered dietitian than anybody else. The second reason was the more holistic view that it has. So I love the fact that it doesn't just look at your nutrition and exercise like other programs that I've tried in the past have. It also looks at your sleep and your mental health, which I have kind of come to the conclusion that they are just as important as any of the other stuff that you'll get, and without one you can't really do the other. So yeah, I really liked that it looked at all of those areas. The third thing I really liked was that the idea behind it is that they want you to learn these habits so that they become second nature. I personally have found that in the past, some of these programs and things that you can get to help kind of don't want you to succeed. They want you to need their help for the rest of your life, because that way you pay them for their advice and information, and they're there to make money at the end of the day. So just from my initial reaction to it, I came to the conclusion that they sound like they want you to be able to fend for yourself, rather than having to rely on them for the rest of your life. And then the fourth thing was the backing by the NHS, which I did check. I did find on their website that they did have an article for Second Nature. So, you know, I trust the NHS. If they say it's good, then I thought I'd give it a go. What have I got to lose? So that was a little bit of a crash course on Second Nature. I hope that clears up exactly what it is, but I will leave some information and a link to their website in the description so that you can have a read up for yourself and see what you make of it. I do just want to be really clear that I am not associated with Second Nature in any way. All of the opinions that I say in this video are my own. I'm just a person that has bought their product and I'm going to tell you what I think of it. So I just wanted to start off by showing you my before pictures. This was me at the start of the 6 weeks. My height is about 5'7", and at the start I weighed 15 stone 2 pounds, which is 212 pounds and can be converted into 96.2 kilos. I really regret this, but I didn't take any of my starting measurements, so if you are thinking of going on a weight loss journey, take your measurements. It is actually really, really important. I really regret not taking those. But at the end of the video, I am going to be talking about my results. I will let you know how much weight I lost, if any, and I'll show you my after pictures as well. So to start off the program, you're asked to do a little bit of preparation. So there are some articles in the app for week 0, and they talk about various things, and that includes the nutritional advice that they give you. So you kind of are given a diet plan to follow, and yeah. There is also quite a lot of information in the handbook, which of course I'm not going to just tell you in this video, but just to give you a little bit of a summary of the things that I personally needed to focus on. The nutrition advice that you are given is, number 1, reduce your carbs. They recommend that you have 3 complex carbs per day. They have their own definition of what complex carbs is, but just to kind of give you a gist of it, it's mainly brown rice, pasta and bread, and you are given kind of a limit on a certain amount as to what equates to 1 complex carb portion. They ask for you to avoid ultra processed foods, and that includes sugar and sweetener, which for me was, I guess it was a little bit of a challenge because I am a bit of a chocoholic, but I did get used to it fairly quickly, and I'll go into it in a bit more detail later on in the video. And then the last thing that I really had to kind of battle with was lowering my caffeine intake. And the main reason that they ask for you to do that is so that you have better sleep health. Because if you have caffeine in your system, you're going to struggle to fall asleep or to stay asleep. So yeah, I had to reduce my caffeine as well. You start off the program with what they call Reset Week. It lasts 5 days, and the idea behind it is that it will give you a kickstart into the program. I didn't set any habits this week, but they ask that you stick to the nutritional guidelines as much as you can, as much as possible. So you kind of have to be a little bit more strict with yourself on week 1. I did take some clips as I was going throughout the program, so we'll let past me tell you about how I got on in week 1.
Okay, so it's day 1 of the Second Nature diet. I have gone for the peanut butter and jam oats. I really wish that mine looked like that. I mean, it looks okay, it looks quite nice. I did make a slight mistake in that I was supposed to put some flax seeds in the oats and then the rest of the flax seeds in the fruit. But I put them both in the oats, but I hope it doesn't matter too much.
I'm sorry that I look an absolute state. It's okay. I can't tell if it's because I put too much flaxseed in the porridge, or if it's just because I'm so used to having so much sugar in things and things being so sweet. Yeah, it's not as sweet as what I'm used to, but I guess that's what Reset is for. I mean, it's not nice, it's nice, but it could be better. Good morning. It is the 27th of Jan, which is week 1, day 3 of the Second Nature program. I've just got my breakfast with me here today. It is a savoury slice
I had this yesterday because I cooked a batch load on Monday, and it's really tasty. I know that I wasn't too keen on the breakfast that I had on Monday, but this one is actually really, really nice. So far the programme's going well. I've not really talked about my lunches and dinners as well. They've been lovely. We had a chicken fajita bake, which was basically like the inside of a chicken fajita on some lettuce leaves. That was nice. Monday for my lunch I made this Mediterranean pasta salad, which had like tuna in it, and that was quite nice. I had the tiniest amount of pasta, but it's a low carb diet and it was a pasta salad, so what do you expect? Hello, it is Sunday the 31st of January, which means that I've finished my first week on the Second Nature diet. I've completed a reset, and yeah, I'm gonna be honest, it's been pretty good. So starting off with the food, I would cook my evening meal and make it for 4 portions, and then the following day I would have those leftovers for lunch. So it hasn't been too intensive. When it came to the cost of my food shop, it wasn't anything out of the ordinary. So yeah, I've generally been pretty impressed with it. Also, I've tried to cut down on snacks as much as possible, and I found that for the vast majority of the days, each meal kept me full until the next meal. I didn't have to snack in between, and if I did have the odd snack, it would just be kind of a handful of cashews, or I think I had a banana and some peanut butter on 1 or 2 of the days. So yeah, I found it pretty easy when it came to the meals side of it. I think that from doing Slimming World previously, I have followed a plan before, so I kind of knew what I was getting into, and knew about meal prepping and things like that. So yeah, it's been fine for me personally. The other area that Second Nature focuses on is sleep, and I have been sleeping like a baby. I've slept so much better than what I normally do, and it has literally just been down to cutting out caffeine. On the first day I did struggle with that a bit because I think I consume quite a lot of caffeine generally, so I'd have a cup of coffee in the morning, and then throughout the day I'd have tea, and then in the evening I'd have a Pepsi Max. So generally I've got quite a high rate of caffeine in me throughout the day. So the first day I just completely switched to decaf, and it wasn't enough for me. That little bit of caffeine that you get in my body was not okay, so I had a cracking headache all day. But I just spoke to my coach about it, and yeah, she said that it's okay to have a fully caffeinated coffee in the morning, but you just need to be mindful of having fully caffeinated drinks past midday, because if you have it after midday it can still be in your system until midnight that night. So that's why you struggle to sleep. But yeah, after I had that, the headaches went away, and I've been finding that I do get tired at a more reasonable time. So I've been going to bed probably around like 10:30, 11ish. Then the other element has been exercise, and I've aimed to go for a walk every day, just at least 20 minutes, just kind of like a walk around the block. I did it for most days, but I didn't yesterday, so Saturday was the only day that I've missed. And I've been really enjoying them. Sometimes I go after work, sometimes I go on my lunch break, and yeah, I've started to enjoy it rather than it being a chore. So yeah, we'll see how long that lasts. Exercise is always my biggest barrier. That's always the one that I struggle with. But yeah, generally on the whole, I felt like I've had so much more energy. I felt happier when it comes to my mental health as well, a bit more content and energetic. So it's been really good. It's been really good, and that's the main thing that I wanted from this. But there has been a bit of a bonus in that I have lost some weight. So on the first week I have lost 5.9 pounds, which I am absolutely chuffed with. I did not expect to lose that much. So yeah, just under 6 pounds is pretty good. I'm really happy with that. So yeah, I am gonna go and do some meal prep ready for week 2. But yeah, so far so good.
Week 2 was nutrition. The habit for this week was meal prep, which is something that isn't a challenge for me, to be honest. Luckily, I already have this habit embedded, so it was pretty similar to week 1. I did try to start batch cooking my breakfast and lunches, just to save time whilst working from home. Here I am making poke bowls and carrot cake oats.
So it's quite a bit of time later, but I just thought I would update you on what it was that I was cooking. So here we have got the carrot cake baked oats. As you can see, we did have a little bit of a taste just to kind of make sure it was cooked and just to see what it was like. And then over here we have got the chickpeas that I made, and these are going to be for the poke bowls. So in here we've got the sauce, which is sesame oil, soy sauce and lime juice. We've got some grated carrot, some radish, some edamame beans and some cucumber. I've also, I didn't know you were there. I've also got some rice out of the freezer, and we do have half an avocado in the fridge, but I don't know how it's going to be tomorrow. But yeah, that's me all prepped for a couple of days of lunches and for the whole week for breakfast.
I wanted to try as many different recipes as possible in the first few weeks, just to understand what I did and didn't like. I feel like a lot of the clips that I've shown you don't do the recipes justice, but I am a food lover and I enjoyed 90% of the food that we had. The poke bowls I'm making here are now a favourite of ours, and we've had them almost every week. I'm also going to chuck in some pictures of more of our favourites like blueberry pancakes, lentil flatbread with harissa chicken, Mexican pork bowls, yogurt bowl and chili meatballs. The butter chicken is also my all-time favourite, but I haven't got a picture to show you, I'm really sorry. But there was that 10% of food that I wasn't so keen on.
Tonight for tea we are making almond flour pizza. So I've made the base and I've just got to par bake that now, and then we will go again with the toppings. So I'm really hopeful that this is tasty and that it does taste relatively like a pizza, but I shall let you know. I can taste a lot of coconut.
It's like cheese on coconut and almond cake.
Week 3 was mindset week. So during week 3 I did mainly focus on the articles. The habits that you start to develop in the prior weeks you do carry on throughout the programme, but just for the purpose of this video I am going to focus on the topics for each week. So week 3 being mindset week, I did film clips of me talking about each of the articles, so here's that.
Good morning! It is week 3 of the Second Nature Health Programme, and I've been quite excited for this week. This week is the focus and the articles are around mindset. And I think that this is really what drew me to this programme, was that it isn't just about the food and the exercise. They've got the whole picture. That's why I'm trying to think of it in my head as a health programme rather than a weight loss programme or a diet. I think this week I would like to share my thoughts on what the articles are. I'm not going to go into too much detail on what the articles say because I really think it's important that you go through this step by step if you do want to try it. But what I will talk about is anything extra that I've got to add to it rather than just repeating to you exactly what the article says. So today's article was around distorted thoughts. When I was reading through this article I do feel a lot better about this sort of thing, and I think it's because since I was last attempting to lose weight I have been to therapy. I do suffer with anxiety and can get really stressed. So I do feel a lot better about it now. And when I went to therapy, one thing they talked about was, well, they call them NATs, so negative automatic thoughts. And when you think things about yourself that will kind of add to your stress. So for me, it's around feeling like I'm not. It's even like silly things like I'm not maintaining the house, I'm not keeping it clean, and then I tell myself that I'm a complete failure, and I'm like not an adult and things like that, and these really out there comments that I make about myself. And the therapist said to put those thoughts on trial, and that really helped me. So even just write like a pros and cons list and kind of say, so why is that true? It's like, because I haven't kept the house tidy. And why is it not true? And it's like, well, I've achieved this and that and this in my life, so maybe I'm not a complete failure. And yeah, it almost makes you feel a bit daft and a bit silly. You're like, why was I thinking that? I think the telling sign for me will be when I do experience a high amount of stress. I've been feeling really good recently, and I do think that it is partly due to this and getting enough sleep, going outside, going for walks and stuff. But yeah, I just know that when something stressful in my life comes up, that I will want to turn to food and I will want to have chocolate and sweet things, and that will make me feel better. But I think knowing about it and trying to preempt it, I will try and recognise the signs of when it's coming up. And I've kind of planned ahead, so I've planned that in that moment, rather than going to the food cupboard, I have actually been really enjoying my walks. So I'm going to try saying to myself, well, let's try going for a walk. Let's see if that helps, because that can really clear my mind sometimes. So hopefully that helps me, having a plan and knowing that it will happen and trying to plan ahead for it. I'm hoping to make these sort of daily videos around the articles this week. I am going to be continuing, aiming to walk every day, sticking with the plan with food, apart from one meal which I've already planned out because it's Valentine's Day this weekend. Me and Mark have decided that we're going to have a takeaway, and that is absolutely fine. I'm just going to have that one meal, and I'm not going to beat myself up about it. I'm going to enjoy it. The way that I'm trying to view this is that this is going to be the lifestyle that I'm going to live for the rest of my life, and I am not giving up takeaway for the rest of my life. I'm just going to have it in moderation every now and again. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I like I say, I'm going to aim to make a video every day, but it's not been going well so far. No, positive thinking. I am going to try my best to make a video like this every day around the mindful articles. Okay, so that positive thinking didn't help at all. It is now Thursday evening. I wanted to still talk about the articles, even though I'm going to be talking about 3 in 1, but it's fine. Tuesday's article was around slip-ups, and I think mostly what I took away from that one is similar to what I spoke about in the previous clip, around that I know that I'm going to be edging towards a slip-up when I get stressed. So yeah, it just talks about kind of the best way to keep your mindset and how to deal with a slip-up if it happens. So for example, with kind of diet culture that we have at the moment, it's you have that on or off perspective. So I used to kind of say, oh, I'm being good at the minute, and then if I wasn't being good, then I was being bad. So it talks about the importance of changing that and thinking that it's not about just being good one day and bad the next day. This is your life. If you have that one slip up, it's okay. That's not going to define the rest of your life, that one meal. And then yesterday's was around mindfulness, which I found really, really interesting. I do find the concept of mindfulness interesting anyway, and kind of linking back to that potential slip up that could happen when I get stressed.
The tips that they gave for that were around to be mindful of what you're consuming. So if it is chocolate, if I've got a bit of chocolate in front of me, stop and think about it. What's in that chocolate? Why am I eating it? What benefit is it going to have? I'm saying that I'm stressed. What is the chocolate actually going to do to reduce my stress? So I'm hoping that by recording this, if I'm in that moment, I can look back at these clips and be like, oh, okay, yeah, okay. So that was Wednesday's, and then today's article is around mindful eating. And I have heard of mindful eating before. I think I heard about it first from Chloe Ting, and I can see the benefit of it and I understand it. But I think it's going to be the one that I have to kind of make the biggest adjustment to, because it's something that I don't really do at all. We always watch TV when we're eating our meals. I think the one thing that I have kind of got in the bag is that I'm very slow at eating. I'm just a slow eater, and I have, since starting this, I have kind of been trying to just more focus on the fact that I am eating, because I think that if you just kind of focus on the TV and just mindlessly eat your food and then you're like, oh, it's gone, like that's when you don't realise that you have actually consumed it. So yeah, every now and again I've just been kind of like focusing on my food, looking at how much I've got left and that sort of stuff. The one that did actually really interest me and that I think is really powerful was the hunger scale. And they basically listed 1 to 10 the different stages of hunger. And it really put it into perspective for me, because I'm like, yeah, like number 1 was starving, and that was literally like, you are ill, you're so ill, that's how hungry you are. And I think that kind of culturally we just kind of say, oh my god, I'm starving. But in actual fact you're not. And when I've got that mindset, I'm like, okay, I'll just have a snack now and then I can have my tea later. But if I can look at that hunger scale and say, well, actually, you know what, I'm not at that starving stage, I'm actually at that stage, it might help me to think, okay, I'll hang on, I'll wait for my tea. I don't need these extra calories. I am okay. I'm gonna survive this. And I think in the long run as well, it will help me to learn what my genuine hunger cues are, rather than feeling bored or what have you. So yeah, it's been really, really interesting. Let's try and make another video tomorrow. Hi, it's now Tuesday of the following week. But let's just pretend, we'll pretend it's Friday. So Friday's article was around emotional eating, which is very useful for me. I do need to work on my emotional eating, and it's kind of the basis of this whole week and kind of the videos that I've made for the whole of week 3. The article is really interesting and talks about different methods and different ways in which you can stop yourself from emotional eating, so that was interesting. But I think something, it's taken me a long time, but something that I'm just trying to focus on is finding joy in other things. So there have been times where I've been wanting to get back on the wagon and try and lose a bit of weight, but I've actually said to myself that I can't, because eating is all that I have right, food's all I have right now to keep me happy and keep me sane. But I recognise that that is incredibly unhealthy. So yeah, I've slowly been trying to build up new things to do and other things to make me happy. So cross stitch, of course, is a big one. I find it really, really relaxing, and it's just good to have a hobby anyway. And then since starting Second Nature, I have actually been really enjoying my walks. Been trying to go on one every day. So yeah, that's kind of all I've got to say about that and about this week. So yeah, I'm still feeling really good about the programme, and we're going to move into week 4, which is exercise. Okay, we are on week 4. And I'm just out on my lunchtime walk. I have gotten slightly brave and decided to vlog whilst I'm out and about. There's no one around at the minute, but if someone comes, I am probably just going to get nervous and put the camera away. Week 4 is exercise week, so
I'm trying to keep up with my daily walks. I didn't go for a walk yesterday and I've not been doing so well on the weekend, but it's something to try and improve and to work on. And I think for this week as well, I do want to boost it up a little bit. Every week we have an increase of steps that we need to take, and then I would like to increase it some more with some different kinds of exercise. In the past I've done HIIT workouts, I've done workout challenges, but I think this time I'm just going to increase it with a little bit of yoga just to slowly get me into it. And I enjoy yoga, so as you can tell I am incredibly unfit. I'm very out of breath trying to talk at the same time. But yeah, it's Tuesday, so we're on day 2 of week 4.
Week 4's habit was to do 15 minutes of uninterrupted activity a day. I had mostly been achieving this on my walks, but did also want to do more exercise on top of that. Hello, I'm sorry about how atrocious I look. I feel like I need to hide this half of my face. It is Thursday, the 18th of February. So that means that we are 4 days into exercise week. The week is nearly over. And I've had a pretty weird week this week. I'm not demotivated, I'm not struggling with second nature, but I am kind of, I don't know, I feel weird. So, I mean, Mark even said to me yesterday, he was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine, why?" He was like, "You just don't seem yourself." And again, he was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I think so." Like, I don't know, I think everybody goes through this once in a while. I think work's been not stressful, but just a little bit frustrating, I guess. And that's just taken up all of my energy. So yeah, I even get to the evening and I don't even feel like stitching. I don't know what's up with me. I'm just feeling a bit lost this week. I've still been managing to keep up with my walks, which I'm really happy about. But it's just kind of building up on that exercise that I'm struggling with a little bit. But I didn't really set myself a goal for this week. I just kind of said that I wanted to increase my exercise a bit. So I did that yoga on Tuesday, I think it was. And I was watching a video today and that reminded me about Pilates. I used to love Pilates. I had this one DVD that I knew off by heart and that I had done loads. So I was like, yeah, I'll give that a go. I'll do that tonight. But now I've gotten to the end of the day and I'm like back to my feeling lost mindset. So yeah, I think I'm going to give it a miss tonight. I'm not going to put too much pressure on myself. And going back to the goal thing, I've now set myself a goal of doing some extra exercise 3 times this week. It's Thursday, so I can still build in 2 more extra bits of exercise to make it 3 times this week. So I debated whether to include that clip that you just saw or not, but I decided to keep it in because I think it's important to show the true picture of weight loss. It isn't just a simple, this is my new lifestyle. There are ups and downs and yeah, life happens. In the end, I did 2 extra workouts that week on top of my walks, which is better than nothing. However, it's not something that I've maintained throughout the rest of the programme, but my walks are, I have been walking pretty much every day. It is still on my radar to increase my exercise, but I will just go at my own pace. On reflection, I could have so easily fallen back into my old habits during that week, so just maintaining what I had achieved so far in the programme was progress for me. And technically I did stick with the habit of 15 minutes of uninterrupted activity every day, so I can't beat myself up too much. Week 5 was sleep week. As you can understand, I didn't get much footage of that. I don't know what I would film to get footage. Do you want to watch me sleep? I don't want you to watch me sleep. So from feeling super duper tired the week before, sleep week came at the perfect time. The habit that we needed to embed this week was to go to bed at the same time every single night, 7 days a week. This was quite an adjustment for me because I'm naturally a night owl. I do like to stay up late, especially on the weekends. My ideal sleep pattern would be from 1 AM to 9 AM, but with working a 9-to-5 job, I kind of can't do that. So I started to try to go to bed every night at 11 PM. I set an alarm on my phone half an hour before my bedtime, just to make sure that I was kind of starting to wind down that half an hour before. If I needed a shower, I could go and do that. And whatever I was kind of watching on TV, that's my last episode, that sort of thing. It's just like a trigger for me to know that it's nearly bedtime, so I didn't lose track of time. Throughout the whole of the programme, I had actually been going to bed at 11 PM on weekdays, but during the weekends was where I kind of let it slip. So I think it shows. On the Monday morning, I would be feeling super tired, unmotivated, so it just goes to show that I should have been going to bed at the same time, even on the weekends. Here are some of the screenshots from my Fitbit so you can see how well I slept. I think one reason I've been feeling so tired the week before was because I was messing up my sleep pattern so much, but now it's consistent. I get a really good night's sleep every night, which is the best result of this whole thing. Even if I don't lose weight, I'm so happy that my sleep has gotten better. It's something I've struggled with my whole life and I feel so much better for it. So we're moving into the final week for this video, and that was stress week. Again, I didn't get much footage because I don't really know what I could film throughout the week. The articles talked a lot about managing your stress through things like deep breathing and meditation. I am someone that is quite prone to stress, so I have already developed my own techniques that I use for when I am feeling stressed. I'm a big guided meditation fan, especially if I can't sleep. It will send me out like a light. But if I'm honest, during week 6, there wasn't really an awful lot that I did to help manage stress. I think because my stress levels have been pretty low in general, I just didn't really feel the need to use those techniques during that week. So yeah, week 6 was kind of just a continuation of how I've been following the program in the prior weeks. So let's talk about my results. In week 6, Second Nature recommend that you reflect back on how you've been getting on with the program, and they ask you to rate the habits that you've embedded using what they call the Second Nature scale. I don't think I'll be able to show you the Second Nature scale because I'm pretty sure it will be copyright, but just to give you kind of like a brief overview of it, it starts from 1, which is that you're still in the learning phase of the habit, and it goes up to 5, which means that it is second nature to you. You get it? You get it? We set the name, yeah. So let's take a look at my experience so far. So starting with nutrition, the habit that I embedded was around meal prepping, and if I'm honest, I gave myself a 5 for that. It is second nature to me to prep my meals, to do my meal planning, to do the food shop, and then yeah, carry out that meal prep. I've been doing that for a good couple of years now, so yeah, I gave myself a 5 for that one. Next was mindset. So I did learn a lot during this week. However, I am still in the learning phase, definitely, for mindset. I think that the way that my mind is working at the moment is very reactive rather than being proactive and kind of preparing myself for certain things. I kind of have a bit of work to do to be a bit more proactive. For exercise, I've given myself a 4. The habit around that was to have 15 minutes of uninterrupted activity. It's still not second nature to me. I do still have to kind of think about it, and there are the odd days that I do miss depending on what my schedule is that day. So it's pretty good, but not quite there to give myself a 5 yet. For sleep, I would give myself a 4 again, mainly because I've still got that alarm set half an hour before my bedtime. So I don't kind of naturally wind down. It is more of a, I have to keep track of time and know, okay, it's nearly bedtime. And then the last one is stress.
very similar to mindset. I'm going to give myself a 1 for that, just because it's all very reactive. I've got my techniques that I already know, but I don't really do a lot to kind of proactively keep my stress levels down. It's just, if they are high, then I will do something to calm myself down. So overall, my mood has been pretty good in general over the past 6 weeks, and like I said before, the part that I'm happiest about with my results is that my sleep has improved so much. So although I've not got measurements, I'm going to count these things as non-scale victories. I've also found that my cravings have decreased dramatically, and my taste has actually changed. So like I mentioned before, I'm a bit of a chocoholic, have such a sweet tooth, but that has changed so much. So during the 6 weeks I did have a Pepsi Max and I did have a peanut butter cup, and I found that they were just way too sweet for me, which is a little weird. I'm a little shocked, I'm not gonna lie. So now let's get into the actual weight loss results. In week 1, as I said before, I started at 15 stone 2 pounds, which is 212 pounds or 96.2 kilos. And at the end of the 6 weeks, I weighed 14 stone 2 pounds, 198 pounds, or 89.8 kilos. So that's a loss of 1 stone or 14 pounds or 6.4 kilos. So I'm really chuffed with those results. Like I said, the intention behind this was to lose my quarantine 15, which at the end of the 6 weeks, I had pretty much lost. I was 1 pound away from losing the 15 pounds. And for me personally, I feel like a stone in 6 weeks is a relatively sustainable weight loss. I don't think it was too quick and it's not too slow for me. So yeah, I've pretty much got everything out of the program so far that I wanted. So you can probably tell by the dates on those videos that I am a little bit late making this video. It's actually the 3rd of April now and I'm on week 10 of the program. I've lost a little bit more weight. So my current weight is 13 stone and 12.5 pounds. So I've lost a further 2.5 pounds, and in total I've lost just under 1 stone 3 pounds. So I'm really close to finishing it, and it is my full intention to continue with the program and to finish it to the end. You are given an option to continue the program if you want to. They have a couple of other programs and you can also restart the current program. Don't think that I will be continuing on with it. I think after the 12 weeks, that's when I'm going to come away and try and figure it out on my own, or just kind of continue with what I'm doing at the moment. Weeks 7 to 12 of the Second Nature program go over those topics again to strengthen your habits and to kind of expand on what you've been learning already. So because I don't want to be repeating myself, I'm not planning on making a video of the second half of the program, but I am planning on making more weight loss videos. So I do want to bring you guys along that journey with me and to document it for myself. So hopefully I'll be able to update you then on how much I've lost, if any. I hope there's some. So if you did come into this video considering whether to give Second Nature a go, I would personally recommend it. I've been really impressed with it so far. All of my initial expectations did kind of come to fruition, and I did understand what everybody was saying about how it is worth every penny. Like I said before, if you are wanting to find out more about Second Nature, I've got some links in the description below. And if you're considering it, go for it. Like I said, I really do recommend it. And that is everything that I've got for you today. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give me a big thumbs up. If you do have any questions on Second Nature or on my weight loss or anything like that, feel free to leave it in the comments below. I will aim to reply to all comments that I get. And if you do want to see more weight loss videos from me, make sure to click subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Bye.